welcome to the Kelly Roach Show, a place for no fluff, easy to implement, 20-minute or less business and leadership lessons to help you build a sustainable business that scales. Let's get started. Welcome back. I'm super excited to have with me here today Krystel Borg. She is the president of one of my companies, the Business Advisory. A lot of you guys know and love us as Kelly Roach Coaching. We rebranded this year to become the Business Advisory as we continue to deepen and strengthen our specialization in the scale process for entrepreneurs going from 7 to 8 figures. So Krystel, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Hi, Kelly. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited for everyone to get to know you better and to just absorb your brilliance. And you guys know Danielle comes on the show very frequently. Krystel's going to be coming on the show. And so you guys are going to get a taste of all of these different things that are going on in all the different companies. And I think it's going to make a huge difference for you as you look to grow your businesses. So today in particular, why is Krystel here? Krystel is here because we are hearing a lot of noise in the market right now around business owners really needing an amped up and kind of new strategy for lead gen in 2023. And Krystel, maybe you can give everybody a little bit of feedback just around what you're hearing and why we decided to really put some emphasis on helping our listeners today get an improved lead generation strategy.
The reason why I wanted to talk about lead generation with you today, Kelly, is because me and the team, we work with so many entrepreneurs, hundreds of them. And that one topic that seems to always come back is lead generation. Many people are very intimidated by it and they don't even know where to start. And in my mind, lead generation is actually one of the easiest steps for business owners to generate business, literally. So I just want to break it down for everyone because it doesn't have to be complicated. It's actually very powerful and the first step to closing deals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that, Krystel, because I know all of our listeners are working so hard to grow their businesses. They're putting out a lot of content, they're launching, they're doing all sorts of things to grow. But the number of people that are seeing the content that you're putting out, the number of people that are interacting and engaging with the brand absolutely is going to impact your results. And especially now we want to accelerate that cycle as much as possible because we know in this market, people obviously are going to be sitting in your ecosystem for longer, which is why we need lead gen now for the rest of the year. Right, Krystel?
100%. And the good news, Kelly, is that there are things that can be done right away where you see an ROI right away. And there are things that you need to work on now because it will start paying off 6 months from now, maybe a year from now. So either way, this is something very important for people. You're thinking about a bucket and you have to fill that bucket. And that's the only way that, you can grow your pipeline and ultimately close deals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you said, Krystel, that with the new clients that we're seeing come into the Business Advisory, that this trend is pretty much across the board. People are coming to us because their lead gen strategies that they were using have kind of tapered off, or they're just not seeing the same ROI from lead gen before. And now they're kind of stuck because they're trying to market, but they don't have the leads in order to get to the outcome that they want. So do you want to talk a little bit about maybe some of the shifts that you've observed in terms of how lead gen is working right now and maybe some mindset shifts that everybody listening can go through? And then let's talk about some of the things that really are working right now and some of the strategies that people could be using to accelerate.
Perfect. Yes. I mean, there are a couple of things. So first of all, obviously, it's a very competitive market. We have more people online than ever. So, it's like finding a way to stand from the crowd is very important. But second, a lot of privacy laws that came about. And so a lot of people were, maybe relying on paid ads. Maybe they were relying on Google or Facebook or whatever else. And it's not as easy as it once, was in terms of getting the right targeting and getting to the right people. So, based on that alone, having a very strong organic lead generation strategy is absolutely critical. And then the one thing that's really disrupting the market is all the tools that we're blessed to have now. And I will mention a couple of AI tools, even though I would never say, hey, just fully rely on them. But there are a couple of things in terms of automation and building a system that will work on your behalf even when you're sleeping is very smart. So there are different ways, a lot of disruptions happening that you need to take advantage of in order to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you're right. And, learning how to utilize these new tools and how to adjust your strategy. And I think a lot of people, because a lot of the privacy laws and a lot of the shifts that have taken place, the direct interaction has happened with big corporations and it's run behind the scenes. A lot of people don't realize that we're on like iOS 15 or maybe it's even more now. And what that means is there's already been 15 layers of, let's call it, blockages that have been rolled out in the last year and a half around the data that can be used for retargeting online, which is the primary reason why so many people are saying, oh my gosh, I can't get quality leads from my ads. My ad costs are through the roof when I'm targeting, all of those things. That's not something that just happened. That's something that is a direct byproduct of the fact that Facebook and Instagram are no longer allowed to target in the way that they were several years ago. And therefore, you're getting a much more mishmashed, large kind of group of people when you're advertising, which is why I know we've talked a lot about the importance of segmentation and optimization, because a large portion of the leads that you get from paid advertising are not going to be qualified, especially if you sell a high ticket product. And I think also, to your point, Krystel, at the same time, while that's been happening with iOS, as you mentioned already, these new tools are coming up and these new ways of generating leads are coming up. But I think a lot of them aren't fully understood yet. And so a lot of business owners aren't taking advantage of them. So I know you put together a full masterclass on this coming up, and you're going to be deep diving with everyone what the changes are, what the best strategies for organic lead generation are that you can put in place right away, both short-term and long-term strategies, and how to really significantly increase your lead generation so that you can leap by 7 figures. So let's tell them a little bit about the masterclass coming up, Krystel. And then what I would love to do is dig into some of the strategies, give like a little sneak peek of some of the strategies that you're going to be talking about on the masterclass.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So the masterclass is on August 16th. You can register on kellyroachcoaching.com/August-16. Kelly, you can probably share the link.
Yeah.
And really, like, the intent of covering lead generation strategy is that everyone can take advantage of that. Yeah. I don't care if you have $1 million business or if you have a startup. Everything that we are going to talk about will require zero investment or very, very tiny investment. And it's designed on purpose because today you can get 500 leads a day, literally, with no money. And so if you're someone that, is still at the beginning stage, this is great for you. And even if you're somebody that has a paid ad strategy, I think you, out of all people, understand that you can get hacked any day, that things changes. And so you cannot rely on just paid ads. And it's interesting, Kelly, because it did happen to us, right? We've been hacked before. And thank God we had this organic source so that we could still, operate without the paid ads. So that was really the objective, is to have that really open, where you don't need to have a high knowledge of technology. You don't need to be an expert in anything. I will break it down with the team for you. Just a little sneak peek of the things that, there are like 7 different buckets that we want to cover.
Okay. All right. Yes. I love it. Okay. Give a little sneak peek of the buckets you're going to cover.
All right. Well, first we have obviously content marketing, and that's something that has been around and that will continue to be around, but there are a lot of things that we will show in terms of shortcuts and things that you can do to be very efficient and how to gain visibility in the market that way, while still remaining very true to yourself and who you are. We're going to talk about search engine optimization, SEO. And that's something that it's interesting because a lot of entrepreneurs are completely dismissing that or not really paying close attention to it. And to me, it's like one of the most powerful things you can create that will probably pay off in 6 months or a year. But you know what? Buyers that are very, that have an intent and put specific keywords are probably the one that will be most likely to convert. So they're very warm leads, and SEO is important. And we're going to talk about on-page SEO and off-page SEO. And some of you may be like, what is the difference? What is that? We'll cover it during that masterclass.
Yeah.
We're going
And
to talk
one
about.
thing I would add to that, Crystal, is like, I think in the past that SEO was optional depending on the type of business that you have.
Mhm.
I think today SEO is not optional. I know with like the newer companies that I'm working on, that I broke out earlier this year, like that was literally the first thing I did was I was like, okay, what do we need to do to start setting these new companies up to build SEO traction? Because as these changes around privacy laws continue to happen, if you don't have SEO come the beginning of next year, you're going to be like up a creek. Like you have to be able to generate leads from your content, not just content marketing on social media, but from the backlinks, from the searches that people are doing on Google. And for a lot of people listening, they're probably already doing long form content, but they're not getting any SEO traction from it. So I think this part of the masterclass is going to be really, really important for people. I want to give the link again. It's kellyroachcoaching.com/August 16. For those of you that are listening to this right now on the Kelly Roach Show, click the link in the show notes. If you're watching this video on social media, you can click above, you can click down below, you can comment down below, lead generation, and we'll send you the link. But again, it's kellyroachcoaching.com/August 16th, August 16th. And you can click that link right in the show notes. But again, guys, SEO is like going to be it's going to be like the new chief in town. And it's something that I think a lot of people, Krystal, have avoided because they don't understand it. And I know what you're going to be doing in the masterclass is really breaking down like just the simple things that anyone can be doing,
Correct.
even if you don't have a huge marketing team or you don't have a huge budget for SEO. For us, we do both paid as well as organic SEO. And you're going to be talking to them about, both, right?
Exactly. And I think as long as you're resourceful and you're putting the time, if you don't have a budget, it can still work very well for you. And that's what I want to
Mhm.
debunk. Like you don't need to hire a very expensive
Yeah.
agency to get that done. And then for some of you,
Yeah.
you may not even have a website. I work with entrepreneurs that are successful,
Mhm.
multi-million, that do not have a website. And I will
Yep.
make a case on why you should consider having a website. And that's linked to the SEO. So
Yeah.
we'll cover that, but it's a fascinating topic that is such like low hanging fruits that I think people are not leveraging. So very passionate about
Yeah,
that.
for
But
sure.
outside of that, we are going to talk about social media marketing, social selling, and I will say I'm going to do a little bit more of a focus on LinkedIn, just because I
Yeah.
think it's still very, very underutilized. A lot of people are
Oh
on
my
Facebook,
gosh.
and Facebook is great. Instagram is great, but like the focus on this, masterclass is going to be LinkedIn, and I will show how much you can literally generate thousands of leads on LinkedIn, qualified leads on
It's
LinkedIn.
mind blowing. It's absolutely mind blowing. It's the most underutilized, underrated tool out there for generating quality leads. And I think the thing I was most shocked about with the testing that you were doing on LinkedIn, Crystal, was that you were literally connecting with people one week and you close them the next week from these basic strategies that you're teaching. So for everyone listening that's like, oh, I don't know, like I'm telling you, like Crystal was like, I'm gonna do this. This is how I'm doing it. This is what I'm doing it. And the next week she had people closing from LinkedIn. So I'm telling you guys, this is like it's super underrated stuff that's simple that you can be getting results from right away. And here's what I would say. A lot of people have been seeing much lower open rates on messages on Facebook, on messages on Instagram, like a lot of those things that people have been relying on over the last couple of years. They're seeing the results of those go down and down and down. Whereas LinkedIn is still a wide open, it's like a blue ocean because it's a space where a lot of people still don't understand how to use it. And Crystal, you're not only covering LinkedIn, but you're also going to cover how to combine LinkedIn with utilizing some AI tools and some automation to
Oh
generate
yes.
leads for free and in volume, right, Crystal?
Listen, I have a secret weapon that I will share in
Okay.
the masterclass, which I've seen multi-million dollar businesses being built, and it's fairly new, so it's a secret
Mhm.
weapon, which I'm very excited to share
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
group on the masterclass. So
for
yes,
sure.
to that, Kelly.
So before we move on, the link for the masterclass, guys, it's kellyroachcoaching.com/August 16th. Okay. If you're watching this video on social media, simply put lead gen down in the comments down below, and a member of our team will get in touch with you. We're covering new stuff on this masterclass that has never been talked about by our organization before. We've always been on the cutting edge of lead generation. We've always been on the cutting edge of social media selling. And Krystel's bringing stuff that is like literally cutting edge, brand new tools that we just started using that we're seeing results with that you can too. So this is like a do not miss. Do not miss. Okay,
Yes.
Go ahead, Krystel. I know you have more buckets that you're covering.
Well, I cover the bucket number 4, which is email marketing, which, by now, most of you should have an email marketing campaign. But, do you have 40% open rate? Do you have 35% open rate? Like, how are your emails converting? And I think this is something that will go a little bit deeper, because it's not just sending an email out, it's understanding what works, what converts, what are the key points that you need to be aware of when you write a marketing email. And that can be extremely powerful for your business, and something that you need to be using consistently in order to book in calls. And so it's not only just the marketing email strategy, but it's also how do you get people registered in your database? Like, how are you going to enroll people to receive your marketing email? So we will cover that, which is, again, completely free, very easy strategy that you can implement and grow your database.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll just ask everybody listening, like, one simple question to ask yourself. It's very simple. Is your email list making you money? If the answer is yes, and you're satisfied with the level of monetization and open rates of your email list, cool. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you have an email list, but you're not currently generating leads and or making sales from it, come to the class and learn how. I know for us, we just recently like completely revamped our entire email marketing strategy. We revamped our newsletter. We revamped our newsletter strategy. Like, there's a lot of things that after you've been in business for a while, you have to go back and revisit, and you have to update your strategy. Otherwise, it just gets stale and you're not going to be seeing those results that you want to be. So I think this is really, really timely, Krystel, that you're doing this, because I think for most people listening, yes, they have an email list, but no, it's not really a business driver for them, right?
Correct. It's more like a checklist. Oh, we have that, but they're not leveraging it to
Right.
convert sales. So
I
very
love that.
critical point. All right, the number 5 on my list is referral programs, which is something that we go deep. Like in our program, if some of you were to join our program, Empire Builder, we cover that quite a bit, because it's a free, very powerful tool to get clients and to do lead generations. And so, in a few words, what does that mean? It's word of mouth. It's using your connections and having them share. It's getting like a reward system in place. And the key word is system. It's having a process around your referral program so that it consistently generates leads for you. And that is something that, again, I see a lot of people not leveraging that. And
it's so interesting, because I'll hear someone say, I'm struggling to fill my launch. And I'll say, oh, okay, did you have your ambassadors share it? Are you doing bring a friend? Are you doing a referral program? And they're like, no. And like, that's the easiest way to get 300 leads in a week, right? But to your point, Krystel, I think a lot of people, they get a random referral here and there, like organically, but there is no system behind it. So I think breaking down how to put a referral program in place. And what I love about this, and you said it a couple of times already, Krystel, is like, this stuff is free, guys. This is the stuff that this class is teaching you, how to leverage tools and resources that you already have at your disposal, but you are not maximizing. I call this mining the gold that already sits in your business. And I don't know anyone right now in 2023 that does not need to find more revenue and more clients that already exist in the confines of the ecosystem that they've already built. All of us need to do that. That's obviously, it's a huge focus for us right now, right, Krystel?
Yes, an inside joke. I mean, you call it tying your shoes, right? Like if you're not tying your shoes, you have like the foundation, you have that at your disposal, but you're not. Yes, you're not covering.
Okay. Yeah. So you're going to give them a system for referral generation, which is going to help them fill their launches, get people to their master classes, get new introductions for new clients for their flagship program. All of those things. Everything becomes easier when you have that referral program in place.
Absolutely. And you see how, like, there is a reason why we're giving you 7 buckets, because literally you're not relying not just on one thing. You have an engine that's, like literally fueling your lead gens from all different angles. So it's going to be an incredible class. Let me jump into my sixth, bucket. It's influencer marketing, or in other words, affiliate marketing, which again is something that I feel is very, very underutilized and misunderstood. And so, there is a logic behind and a system that works behind affiliate marketing. And it's not just like, like a lot of people are like, where do I start? Where do I find my influencers? What should be their size? What should I offer them in return? What should I be promoting with them? There are a lot of like questions around it, and I get it. Like it can be intimidating when you don't know, but I can tell you that many of our clients have built $1 million businesses only on affiliate marketing, using different strategies, whether they were selling the programs on their behalf directly, whether it was to fill their launch. It's a very, very powerful, strategy that anybody should have in their business. And it's not that complex to put together. You just need to understand the inner working of it.
I agree. And I think, Krystel, a lot of people feel like, or I think a lot of people disqualify themselves from affiliate marketing because they say, I'm not big enough. I don't have enough clients. I don't have a big enough brand, like all of those things. And what you don't realize is like there's all different types of affiliate marketing. And it really comes down to the value exchange between you and the other person. You don't need to have a huge brand. You don't need to have a massive business in order to get started with this. It really comes down to, is there value, for this other person in what you're teaching and what the way that you're serving for their audience, right? And so it's a great strategy, and again, costs nothing, right? Leveraging resources and contacts that you probably already have, that you already have relationships with, but it's another inroad to the business. And I love that you're really focused on all of these organic strategies because, to your point earlier, Krystel, I've talked about this so many times on the show, like you have to have redundancies in the business. I think one of the most dangerous things that we've seen, and I've had a lot of clients actually come to us when this has happened to them, where they have one core lead gen strategy. And when something happens, they're like almost at risk of going out of business because there's nothing else that's built up over time. It's so important to create these incremental little inroads to your business and build them over time. And now is the perfect time to do this masterclass and make the decisions about what are the strategies that you're really going to commit to for 2024 and use the rest of this year to get these things up and running and start producing results for you so that next year you can create that hockey stick effect and really scale them.
Yes, 100%. And even though we're covering 7 strategies, if you only pick 3 to start, 3, 4, you don't have to pick the 7 of them all at once. I get it. It may sound like a lot. But pick a couple. Don't rely just one is always a very dangerous number in business. And I know you say that often, Kelly. So it's very important.
It's so true. Oh, I just want to give everybody that link one more time. It's kellyroachcoaching.com/August-16th. Again, I just want to emphasize, we're going to be introducing new tools. Krystel's going to be walking through some automation plus AI plus LinkedIn strategies that you've never seen before that you can implement in your business right away. Everything can be implemented right away, and pretty much everything that's being taught is not going to cost you an extra dollar to do. And the things that do cost a little bit of money, it's a little bit of money that you could steal from another area of the business without, setting anything off on the right track. So if you feel like your lead gen strategy has gotten a little stale and you're frustrated with the quality and quantity of people that you've been bringing into your ecosystem, this is like the most worthy investment of an hour and 15 minutes of your time that you could possibly do, because I know you guys are putting out content. I know you're doing the work. You're doing all these conversion events. This is like the rocket fuel to actually get them performing again.
Correct. And it's also your opportunity. We're going to have a Q&A. I have a feeling, Kelly, we're going to be probably like more 2 hours in that masterclass because we have a lot to cover, but it's totally worth it. It can really set up the pace for the rest of the year for 2024. So a lot of we're going to go deep, and that's really one of the objectives. It's not just like go on the surface, but really giving you very specific tools and strategies that you can leave the masterclass with and go ahead and implement. Same, like we were just talking about affiliates, like I'll be happy to answer questions around how much of a commission should I give that person? How do I find that person? Like all of those questions you may have, we're going to break it down. So that leads me to the last one, the one that we made a name for, our live launch, converting events, masterclass, you name it. So this is a great way to generate leads. Why? You're creating an opportunity for people to learn, you're sharing content, so you're giving, but then it's also a chance for you to, get people in your ecosystem, get them to know you, get them to date you before they start, a true relationship with you. But it's a great way to have visibility and to get people to trust you and know you. So if you do not have any sort of events planned, I highly, highly recommend that you look at your marketing calendar, and every month you start doing like we're doing now, like we're doing this masterclass. And obviously the intent is for you guys to have incredible value and gaining your trust and understanding like what we can provide to you. So that is the intent. We're doing the same thing. It's growing our audience, right? But at the end of the day, that's what you need to do in your business as well. And this is a very important tool to grow your audience.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have questions, Krystel, around how live launching has changed. And I would say that it's very significantly shifted on the back end in terms of what you need to do in order to get these conversions. And we spent 6 months, literally since it's probably been more than 6 months. It's probably been like 9 months. We've spent optimizing the segmentation, the information that we're learning about leads, the way that we're interacting with them, the customization. And we're actually in the process of beginning to shorten our flagship live launches because we've been able to do such significant optimization that a lot of the time that the team was spending on doing things manually is just no longer required. And I think this will be very beneficial for you all to sit on these calls. Not only does Krystel manage our sales team, but she also, obviously, she's the president of the company. She's involved in the sales process. She leads our live launches. She's managing the team, and she can walk you through these very important optimization strategies that we've implemented that are now going to allow us to shorten the time frame. Why is this important? Because it's going to make it easier for you to do monthly cash injections and monthly conversion events for your business, because it's a shorter time frame, and it's going to allow you to elevate the impact of what you're doing in a shorter amount of time, less manpower, more ability to sell. It's going to make your events more profitable. But it's a lot has changed, right? And it was a quick change in the market, but it was not a quick process to identify how we could optimize all these pieces and go through it. But I say this all the time, like, you could also call a live launch $1 million gathering. You have to have the ability as a business owner to bring a group of people together at a certain time to talk about a certain thing and to extend an invitation in which people are going to say yes. I don't care whether you want to call it a live launch, or you want to call it a challenge, or you want to call it a masterclass, or you want to call it diddle daddle. I don't care. You have to have an ability. You have to have an ability to bring a group of people together at a certain day on a certain time to talk about a specific topic, make an offer, and to generate sales. And it does not matter what format you want to follow, or what social media site you want to be on, or whether you want to do it in person or you want to do it virtually. These strategies that Krystel is going to talk about are going to be relevant for you, and you can apply them however you want to the optimization of whatever type of conversion event you're going to do. And I think that's really important, Krystel, because the strategies that you're going to talk about, someone doesn't need to do live launch exactly how we do it in order for this to work. It's really about the ability to segment and optimize how you are spending your time and how your team is spending their time, so that you have the ability to get to your goal, knowing that a significant portion of the population is not going to be able to afford your products and services anymore, and that you have to get efficient with where your time is being spent and make sure that it's being dedicated to the people that actually can afford to make those investments. And that is a big change given the economic climate and ifs that we've seen in the market.
I think you're making a very critical distinction, because we've been talking about lead generation, but it's not just generating a lead, it's generating a qualified lead. And why is that important? For all the reasons you just mentioned, but also because nowadays customization to stand out is so important. So it's not just, it used to be like quantity, quantity, quantity. I would argue that quality is really important right now. And so where do you spend your time? Your time is one of your greatest assets. And so you need to make sure you're spending the time where it actually makes sense and where you're going to have an ROI. So it's not just lead generation, it's the right lead generation. And when we talk live launch, we'll talk about segmentation a bit. Honestly, Kelly, it's a whole different masterclass that we need to cover on this coming up soon. But we'll touch on that, because I always say a successful launch happens pre-launch. It's whatever you put before the launch. At that point, it's like, an athlete. It's like you're winning games by preparing yourself before. And then in the game, you just roll things out. You're in it, you're confident.
That's it.
The pre-launch is critical, and it starts with qualified leads that, come with a very specific custom outreach.
Yeah, that's it. And just to put a bow on that, Krystel, we've been talking so much on the show this year about how the market has shifted away. The reason why so many people are struggling with lead gen right now, Krystel, is that mass marketing is not having the same impact that it had before. Customization, and I'll call it like the consultative sale, has really taken front and center stage in today's market. But a lot of business owners don't understand how to shift into that mode. And I know you're not going to be able to go super deep into this in the class because there's so much that you're covering, but certainly you could do this in the next masterclass. We can do all the just live launch optimization, shifting into consultative selling, all of those things. But the bottom line is this is at least going to give you kind of some parameters and some things that you can do to start optimizing your time and segmenting your leads better and having a better understanding of how to pivot from mass marketing into kind of the consultative sale, because that's why so many people are lead generate. People just aren't responding the same way to mass marketing anymore. And the reason why is that we're in a mature market now. Like none of the things that we're doing now, they're not new to consumers anymore. The online marketing space has continued, and just this is the natural form that any market follows. It's went from an immature market where everything was new and exciting and people were responding to all of these things because it was their first time experiencing it, to now we're in a much more mature market, which means people are not going to jump because you sent them an email inviting them to a masterclass. Like it's just different now, right? But I think, Krystel, a lot of people are still stuck in 2021, 2022 mass marketing strategies. And until they learn and understand some of the customizations that we're talking about, they're not going to see the ROI from those activities the way that they once did.
100%, yes.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I haven't even mentioned like sales funnels or anything like that, it's because a lot of people think, let me create a lead magnet and let me create a beautiful sales funnel. And that's great, but then how do you even promote it unless you have marketing dollars? So before we even think about that, let's discuss, because your sales funnel, we need an entry point. So we're going to discuss the entry point of everything. And then if you have a beautiful sales funnel and you want to promote it on those different entry points, great. But that's really important.
Exactly. So if you're watching this video online right now, make sure you comment lead gen down below. We'll send you an invite to the class. It's going to blow your mind. We're talking about stuff we've never talked about before. Krystel is breaking it all down for you. She's giving you kind of like the cliff notes of the last 7 months of our work, right, Krystel? And for those of you that are listening on the podcast, you can click the link in the show notes to register now, or you can go to kellyroachcoaching.com/August-16th. Okay. So this is a do not miss. This is the kind of stuff that you guys count on us for. And I'm so lucky to have someone like Krystel at the helm of the business advisory in the role of president that is driving innovation for us. She is on the cutting edge of bringing these new technologies and these new tools to our organization, helping us to learn them, helping our clients to learn them, and now, helping you as well. So I hope that everyone will make it a point to be there. What time is the class on August 16th, Krystel?
I believe it's 12 p.m.
Okay.
Yes. If you click on the link, you'll have all of the information.
Perfect. So is there anything closing that you want to share with everybody, just based on, I know that you've been recently having a lot of conversations with entrepreneurs out there in the market. Like what kind of parting feedback or advice would you want to give, Krystel, to everybody listening here today?
My advice is to not overthink it and get started. because I think a lot of it is a mindset block. A lot of the things you could do like now. And so it's not just we're going to give you the tools, but my parting advice is do not overthink it. Action over perfection. Get started. You'll get better at it. And that's really how you are going to build that muscle. And so, sometimes we as entrepreneurs have so many different hats to wear. And so we forget the foundation. We're thinking about, well, let me do some bookkeeping. Let me worry about XYZ. And at the end of the day, if you do not have lead generation in place, and that means you're not selling. So what are you working towards, right? So it's really like a very important mindset shift that this is something you need to take really seriously. You don't have to be afraid of it. You just need to get started, take the tools, baby step. And then as you build your confidence, everything will make so much sense. And you're going to feel very empowered.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So just a couple of things before we wrap up today. If you guys are not already connected to Krystel on Facebook, go find her. She posts amazing content and she brings her own unique flavor to everything that we do. So Krystel Borg on Facebook. And also, I know that a lot of you have been kind of following our journey, and we have been sharing how we are evolving from Kelly Roach Coaching as a mass marketing coaching company to the Business Advisory, which is a boutique high-level coaching and consulting firm. And we're really owning our specialization now of helping seven-figure businesses really chart the course to 8 figures. If you are listening to this podcast today or you're watching this video and you are not connected to the Business Advisory accounts, whether it's the Business Advisory on Instagram or Facebook, wherever you spend time, LinkedIn, go find us. We put out amazing and very unique content there, and it's really specifically focused on those of you that really want to build your empire. And we're so proud that we recently got the official trademark for Empire Builders, which is our flagship program inside the Business Advisory, where we have helped many people to build $1 million businesses, and then they're able to go on to legacy builders, legacy leaders, and just keep growing into the multiple millions with us. So definitely connect with Krystel. Find her online. Go connect with the Business Advisory accounts. We'll put all of them in the show notes down below. And make sure you're following along with both of those, because we're going to be doing these masterclasses once a month. And Krystel's going to be bringing a new and really timely and relevant topic to the market every single month. I think you heard a little preview today that we're probably going to be bringing a live launch update masterclass to you very, very soon. And I know a lot of you have been asking for that. And I'm always very transparent, and I say, I'm not going to bring something to the market until we figure it out, right? I'm not going to teach something until we really have it refined and dialed in. I think we're at that place now where we can definitely share those things. So more to come. Krystel, thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, Kelly, same. Just quick correction. It starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I was on CST time with the 12 p.m. So 1 p.m. Eastern time, August 16th. Join us. If you find me, when you find me online, you can send me a DM. I'm always happy to answer questions. And I very much look forward to seeing everyone.
Absolutely. 1 p.m. Eastern on the 16th. Again, make sure you register today, kellyroachcoaching.com/August-16th. And then you'll get all the reminders, and you'll get the link to put it on your calendar and all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Krystel, for being here today. Awesome conversation. And we'll see you guys back here soon. Thanks, everybody.